Hi there. Excuse me. I have to apologize for my haggardly appearance and for my scratchy voice. We've got a bug in our house. Well, actually, my daughter has strep throat, and I don't know what I have going on. It may be strep throat or it just may be a wretched cold. So I look horrible. I kind of sound crappy, and I'm sorry, but that's what it is. So here's what I'm going to do, or here's what I'm wanting to do. I know I've shown you like my bill pay system and how I like to do the bills, and I've shown you my favorite cash wallets in other videos that I've made, but I haven't really told you everything about what I'm doing. I think maybe I kind of mentioned that my husband and I are trying to crack down on our finances and pay off some debt. And when I say, excuse me, if I like go into a sneezing fit, or I apologize in advance for whatever happens to me here. When I say my husband and I are trying to really crack down on our finances, that's not, I guess, totally an accurate statement. And I have recently, in the last couple months, been really inspired by some different YouTube channels where people are trying to pay down their debt. The majority of them that I've found, I believe, are using the Dave Ramsey system, and it seems to really be working. So I watched some of these channels for a while before I actually decided this is the process that I needed to apply to our finances myself, because I say my husband and I are working on our finances. That is slightly an untruth, in that I'm one of those people who is having a hard time getting my husband on the same page. I've had a hard time getting my husband even involved in our finances for several years. It's something I continue to work at. It's something that he may think I nag about, but I want him to have an active role in what happens with our finances. And also because when I'm left to make the financial decisions all on my own, which I have been for 10 years, if something is wrong, if something goes wrong, or there's a bad decision made, it rests solely on my shoulders, and that's an awful lot of weight for one person to bear. And then you feel kind of like you're to blame for whatever financial trouble there might be. Also, together as I would like for it to sound like I am when I have, my bill pay system, which my green binder, I love my green bill binder or budget binder, but the reason I love it so much is because I've recently been working really hard to get it where it is. But prior to that, I am a recovering impulse buyer. I love to buy things, and I think people who do that are trying to like fill a need, or they get some kind of good feeling from impulse buying, and I'm sure that that's what it has always been for me. My husband is not an impulse buyer, not like I am. I get suckered into like some good books or some, just things that I want. If I want them, I buy them, and our finances have suffered greatly because of this. We have had some really strangely bad things happen to us financially since we've been married. When I married my husband, he had acquired from a previous marriage. He'd been divorced. He had acquired a great deal of credit card debt that he did not know existed during that marriage. But then when the divorce came around, that debt all became his. At the time, I didn't really understand how somebody could acquire that much credit card debt and not known it had existed. But now, after having been married to my husband for 10 years, and I see his little involvement with the finances, I totally understand how you could do that, or how he could do that. So I'm watching these YouTube videos, and these people are working together. They're making these videos, and my very favorite one is a YouTube channel called Debt is Dumb, and it's all one word, and dumb is spelled D-U-M. So it's D-E-B-T-I-S-D-U-M. Check their channel out, because I think they're great. I mean, they really inspire me. They motivate me, and I see how far they've come. And if they can do it, we can do it. I mean, it's one of those things where when you see people actively doing the thing that seems the most hard to you, you see that it's possible. So that's an inspiring channel for me. And they've got links to people that they like who are on a similar journey. So from their channel, you can find other ones. But there's questions, like people will write in questions for them. They do a question and answer segment like on Sundays. And one of the biggest questions I think people are asking them recently are, what do you do when your spouse is not on the same page and you're really wanting to take on this process of paying off debt and becoming financially abundant with whatever money you do make? How do you do that if your spouse is not on board? And they have said that is very difficult. You just have to keep trying to get them on board. And so I watched their last video, and those were the like 2 or 3 questions that were asked, and I'm like, that is exactly what I would be asking, and that is exactly my problem. So I thought, since I'm in this boat, and I mean, my husband's a toughie. Other people might not have near the problem that I have had, because I have been trying to get my husband on board for 10 years. And he's very agreeable, and you can sit him down and tell him what your plans are, and he's very, yeah, that makes good sense. I mean, it feels good. And then after the conversation ends, nothing else ever happens. So I have had a very difficult time, and this is a stressful area for marriage. We currently live paycheck to paycheck. And since I've recently really cracked down, I say cracked down, and that's the only word I know to use, but since I've really taken a good, hard, long look at our finances, and I've actually sorted through them in a way that I've never done before. Now, I've tried working our finances before, and I've always, kept the bills paid, and I've kept things done, but there's never been any kind of a process in place to pay off debt, or to have any more than what we have, or to live any better than how we live now. It's just been a maintenance process. But now I'm to the point, I'm in my mid-30s. My husband's in his mid-40s. And we live paycheck to paycheck. And there's going to be a point in our life very soon where we're going to be retired and we're not going to have any money. We're going to have grandkids and we're not going to be able to afford to do anything with them. And I'm looking at this and seeing that this really is, it's a ways off, but it's not that far. Life is so quick. And so I'm starting to get worried, and rightfully so. So I've decided that all these other people who inspire me with their journeys, and they all seem to be so on the same page, and it just is, I'm jealous of those people, because they're husbands and wives, and they're sitting down communicating together and then communicating with you, and it looks great, and I am so jealous of that because I don't have it, but I want to. So I am going to try to record my journey of trying to get my family debt-free, and I'm going to follow the Dave Ramsey steps. Now, I've never taken the class, and I actually just ordered the book, but I did listen to the audiobook a few years ago, and it was really helpful and inspiring, and I shared some things with my husband, and again, it didn't go very far. But this time, I am absolutely committed to making this happen, because I am so tired of living this way. Really, really tired of living paycheck to paycheck when there's no reason for it. So right now, my biggest current problem, other than getting the husband on board, is that we are living outside of our means. Our monthly outgo is greater than our monthly inflow. So I am having to work to try to remedy this problem. And I'm trying to work with my husband, and it's difficult. And I'm going to make more videos. I may make a daily video. I'm not exactly sure to the timing that I'm going to do this, but I want to record my journey with trying to get my family debt free and trying to get my husband on board. So my goal is, as crazy as this is going to sound, if you knew my husband, this would sound like a crazy goal. My goal is to eventually, I want you to see he and I sitting here together talking to you about the process and our journey of becoming debt-free. So for now, it's just going to be me, and I'm going to let you know how it's going trying to get my spouse on board, because I feel like there's a lot of other people in the same boat. One person really wants to make a change in the finances. The other person's not convinced or not on board for whatever reason. And for those people, I don't know if my journey is going to be helpful, but I sure hope so. And I'm hoping that I really can get this to work. So maybe you can learn from my mistakes if I make them, which we're hoping I don't make them. And then you can learn from the things that go right. So maybe if it helps you with the debt-free journey and also with getting your spouse on board. So that's what I'm going to do. Wish me luck. I'm really hoping it works. And so I will see you later. Thanks.